2 Corinthians chapter 1 verses 3 and 4 says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves have received from God." That verse has been coming to me a lot lately. I always said, right from the beginning of my own problems, really, if I can help just one person cope with their stuff, then my suffering would have been worth it, really. I think what I want to say is, as I've mentioned, coming off my medication has been a very, very dark, very difficult, very challenging time, much of which I spent feeling very hopeless. As I said, I realised my faith was not what I thought it was. In fact, it was virtually non-existent a lot of the time. I didn't trust, basically, the God who has actually done so much for me already, which only added to my sense of guilt and failure of God, thinking, he's done so much for me in my life, which I can't deny, and yet I'm not trusting him. And yet he has been so faithful. He's forgiven me all that, and he's shown me that he's there. He truly does stay faithful to those who have little faith, or even lose their faith in him for a time, even, I think, because as it says, he cannot disown those who are his own, and that certainly proved true with me. Especially the way that I was, driven to blasphemy in my madness and cursing him, and yet he's stayed very faithful to me. I feel it's important to say why things went so bad in my head. I think because I'm relatively new to the Christian path and used to living by tarot cards and predictions and all that, I'm not used to living by faith and trust, especially after my trust was blown in life. And I think because I'd seen so many improvements in my life already, that when I came off my medication and things went really very bad in my head, I think it scared me. It really did. Because I thought, well, maybe I'm not saved after all. Maybe it's just been lulling me into a false sense of security. I just basically, because I felt so bad, and because really I think I had a totally wrong impression of what being a Christian was about. That's another story on its own, really. But I think the thing I want to say really is, I've just been doing some cleaning in my apartment, and I've been sitting here moping basically for the last couple of months because I've been feeling so bad coming off my medication and thinking, God's abandoned me. And I was just thinking, things have been very difficult since I came off the medication. Things have been very difficult to cope with, probably because it's the first time in 23 years I've tried to cope without drugs, really. But I just got thinking, and I'm hoping it's something that will inspire anyone who might be watching, that might be feeling a bit hopeless at this time. I thought, well, really, it's not that I'm lost. It's not that God's going to let me go. But in actual fact, it's an opportunity for God to show his glory even more, really. To show how, he allows his children really to go down the dark paths, but he will redeem us out of it. And I think it's really important to remember, and I'm sort of saying it because I've sort of been there and I felt that hopelessness, really, and I've been going through it even this afternoon, really, not feeling much hope. But I think you need to sort of really focus on what the Lord does, not on what you're feeling or how hopeless you feel, but thinking, would God really allow himself to be dishonoured by leaving his children in that mess? And I thought, no, he in reality, I think he's always delivered me out of everything, basically, no matter how hard things have got. So, to anyone out there who is struggling and who is finding this battle hard and who is feeling maybe that he's abandoned you, don't think that, because he won't. He'll always redeem you from the pit, basically.